Yes, everyone, welcome back to my channel again for one more amazing video. But before I start this video, I just want to ask one question. Are you ready to bounce back or not? And if you are ready, just write down in the comment box to inform ICI that we are capable of doing whatever we want. In this video, we'll be going to discuss the revision plan for financial reporting paper, CA final financial reporting paper. In the last video, we have discussed the overall preparation strategy, how to restart for Jan 2026 attempt. In that video, we have already discussed what will be the planning for the Jan 2026, means how many hours should be given for each paper, whether we should go for single group, both group, whether we should take class or not, that everything we have discussed in my last video. This video will be discussing how to plan revision for financial reporting paper. But before we start the discussion, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe this channel and do like this video and share this video to all your friends. Now coming to the FR revision, first we need to understand how many times we should revise FR paper and how many hours is required per revision. Normally students don't know how many hours are required per revision. In that case, either they will sometimes give more number of hours to FR or less number to FR revision. In both cases, it is against the student. Why? Because if he is giving more hours for FR paper which is not required, other subject will be affected. And if he is giving less number of hours, whatever is required, then his FR paper will be affected. Therefore, proper revision is required with proper number of hours. In that case, first we need to understand whether you are writing Jan 26 exam for the first time. Means if you are first timer, you need to revise all subject, not only FR, all subject 3 times, minimum 3 times. Right now we are discussing about FR. So of course FR you need to revise 3 times. And from my point of view, because already your revision started, you have already completed your first revision or first and second revision. So that you need to decide how many revisions are left. From my point of view, for first revision, in that case, if you are writing Jan 26 exam for the first time, you need to give minimum 200 hours. Minimum 200 hours for the first revision. Second revision, depending upon whether you are writing single group or both group, it can be 120 to 150 hours. 120 to 150 hours, minimum 120, maximum 150 hours. Got this point? Third revision, at least 100 hours should be given. Let me clarify, this 3 revision is apart from the last revision. Don't include last revision in this case. Got this point? Now coming to those students who are writing Jan 26 exam, second, third or more attempt. Got this point? Means if the student has given multiple attempts, in that case, how many hours required? How many revision required? In any case, whether he is writing single group, both group, minimum 2 revision required. Even though if you think that if you have done revision in the past attempt, then also right now for Jan 26 exam you need to revise FR paper 2 times. Now how many hours are required? That depends upon single group or both group. If you are writing single group, first revision required 120 to 150 hours. Correct? Depending upon how much time is available. If you feel FR is strong, you can give 120 hours. If you think you require more time for FR, then you can give 150 hours. Got this point? Second revision can be done in 100 hours. Once again, last revision is not included in this 2 revision. Got this point? If you are writing both group, of course, can I say it is, I need to take one assumption that some subject revision is already completed. Then in that case, if you are revising FR for the FR and that is the first revision, you can give 100 to 120 hours. Because both group you have 6 subjects, you can't afford more time. So depending upon once again the level of FR, if it is weak, give 120 hours. If you think you can manage in 100 hours, you can give 100 hours also. Correct? And second revision, number of hours depends upon the time availability that you need to decide by your own. Got this point? Once again, I just want to inform you that in any case, whether you are first timer or if you have given multiple attempt, minimum commitment required is 12 hours per day. And it can be achieved because you have a goal with you. Goal is what Jan 26 exam. Right now you should think about only one goal, that is Jan 2026 exam. Now the question is that how to revise FR. You know what is the biggest mistake students do for revising FR? That now they are totally dependent on revision lecture for revising FR concept. But you know, FR does not require revising concept again and again. It requires more and more question practice. More you solve the question, better you understand the concept. If you are not solving the question by your own, believe me, in exam you will not be able to solve any questions by your own, because in exam you don't have the solution. You need to frame the solution by your own. In FR paper they will not ask you theoretical question, they will ask you the practical question for which you need to understand how to apply the concept. Got this point? Now in that case, what to do? From my point of view, if you are confident about a concept, you know the concept, then only to read the concept from the concept book and give more time in practicing question, solving more and more question. But if you feel that you have forgotten the concept, means there is a time gap between the last exam and this exam, and it is quite possible you are forgetting some index. In that case, you can take the help of revision lecture. Now, for that, you are not supposed to wait for the new revision lecture. Just try to understand. If you are waiting for the new revision lecture, you are wasting your time. Can you say FR content remains same, FR concept remains same, index is not going to change. You can also revise from past recorded revision lecture which are already uploaded in YouTube. For that, the link of my previous revision lecture is given in the description of this video. If you want to use that revision lectures, then use that. That revision lecture is both in Hindi and English language. Whatever language you want, you can follow that. Got this point? However, in the month of December, I may come with the revision lecture, but for that, till now, I have not done any announcement. Got this point? Now, for revision of FR, first we need to understand the requirement of ICI. You know what ICI require? ICI has divided the FR syllabus in two parts that we can understand as per the past trend of examination. One is that chapter from which always a question will be asked in examination, and that will actually cover 50 to 60 marks. The chapters are consolidation. When I say consolidation, it will include Ind AS 110, Ind AS 111, Ind AS 28, Ind AS 27. Then business combination, then financial instruments, share-based payment, Ind AS 116, Ind AS 115. 115 means revenue, 116 means lease. Normally, a question will be asked from this chapter, and it will be overall of 50 to 60 marks coverage. Got this point? And from other chapters, whatever chapters are not covered here, from other chapters, question may or may not come. Means there is no guarantee of questions. Sometimes they will ask question from Ind AS 36, sometimes they will ask question from Ind AS 38, sometimes they will ask from Ind AS 16, Ind AS 20, like this. So that depends upon in which exam they are asking question from which topic. And what mistake students do? They normally ignore these chapters, and that happens because they don't know for which chapters how many hours are required. Normally, any student will give more importance to this, correct? But when they are revising this chapter, they will give more hours than required, and eventually they will be left with less number of hours for these chapters, and they will ignore. And there comes selective studies. I will say no to selective study this time. You revise all chapters, whether it is in any category. However, I don't believe in ABC category. I don't believe in ABC category. From my point of view, A category are those chapters from which the questions are asked in your particular exam. That is only A category, and that only ICA knows. We don't know. We can only expect, and just try to understand. In ICA exam, always unexpected are expected. In ICA exam, I repeat, unexpected are expected. So don't go for any trend. Why to take risk? Jan 26, you are going to pass That is the commitment. Will do overall preparation, no to select visit. Now I will say for which chapters how many hours are required, that I will say. And if you know for this chapter this much hours required, don't give more hours to that chapter, and we can revise in the given number of hours. Now let us understand how many hours required for each chapter, and for that already I have made one revision plan. Believe me, if you follow that revision plan, one commitment I can give you that you can easily score 60 plus in FR paper, but you need to follow that FR plan properly. Let us see that PDF. Whatever PDF I have prepared, that you can download from my Telegram channel. The link of a Telegram channel is given in the description of this particular video. Got this point? Now you can see this plan I have divided as per number of hours. Number of hours depends upon how many hours you are revising FR. So it can be 200 hours, it can be 150 hours, it can be 120 hours, it can be 100 hours. It means if you have planned to revise FR for 100 hours, then you refer this column. If you are planning to revise FR for 150 hours, then refer this column. Now what I have done to simplify FR preparation, I have divided the entire syllabus into 5 parts. Understood? Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, and for each part I will conduct one test. I will conduct one test, means once part 1 completed, you are ready for test number 1. Part 2 completed, test number 2, you are ready. Means can I say if you are following this particular plan, you are also planning for the test also. I will discuss about the test later on, but I have informed you that for each part I will conduct one test. For each part I will conduct one test. Got this point? So part 1, test 1. Correct. Now for part 1, you can see 25 hours required if it is in 200 hours column. Correct. And if you are going for 100 hours, means 13 hours you need to give. Part 1. Now part 1 consists of how many chapters? That is given below. So for part 1 you can see, means you need to revise in this sequence only. First part 1, then part 2, then part 3, then part 4, then part 5. Don't start with part 5. Believe me, it will not help you. Start with part 1. And in part 1 you can see all the Ind AS related to asset and liability are covered. For example, Ind AS 2, Ind AS 16, Ind AS 30, Ind AS 40, Ind AS 23, Ind AS 20, Ind AS 36, 37, 10, 41. Now how many hours required per chapter? That is also given. If you are in this column, 2 hours. If you are in this column, 1 hour. Means you are not supposed to give more than 1 hour to Ind AS 2 if you are revising entire FR for 100 hours. Got this point? Got this point? This will really help you. So what if it is taking more than 1 hour or more than hour, whatever you are prescribed? Believe me, when you have that 1 hour in mind, normally it will take not more than 1 hour, or I will say approximately it may be 1 hour, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but you will not take 5 hours. If you don't know about this number of hours, you may revise, and eventually it is quite possible required 1 hour, you are taking 4 hours. That will affect other subject. That will affect other subject. Got this point? So depending upon how many hours you are taking for FR revision, number of hours per chapter is given, and that is the one benchmark that you should only revise that particular chapter for that number of hours. Similarly, if you see, if you are coming to part 2, in part 2 I have given 3 chapters, Ind AS 102, Ind AS 19, and financial instrument. You can see financial instrument I have given 32 hours if it is 200 hours and 16 hours if it is 100 hours. Got just half. You need to make it half now. And for Ind AS 102, 8 hours, 4 hours. Ind AS 19, 6 hours and 3 hours. Got this point? So everything is prescribed. You need to follow that. You need to follow that. Got this point? Similarly, part 3, part 4, part 5, everything is given. And after every part, you can also write test to understand whether your performance is okay or not. I will suggest that test you should write down in first revision, not in second revision. Second revision, don't write test. Once you are doing your first revision, then write down the test. And if you are doing some mistake, you will be able to understand, yes, where you are going wrong, where you need to correct it, and in second revision you can correct it. Got this point? Yes, sir. This is the overall revision plan, And believe me, you need to follow this. If you follow this, in prescribed number of hours you can complete FR preparation. Otherwise, what will happen, you don't know how many hours required. You may take eventually more number of hours, and quite possible you may leave some of the chapter which are also important from examination point of view. Every chapter from which questions come in exam, that are important. We can't say this chapter is important, this chapter is not important. If the question is coming from Ind AS 101 in Jan 2000, Jan 26, then Ind AS 101 is important for you. How can you leave that? Got this point? Once again, I will say this time, say no to selective study. No to selective study. This was FR revision plan. Now, as per the request of many students, because many students have requested me that they want to actually listen some of the chapter, for example, consolidation chapter, business combination chapter. For that reason, I am opening subscription model for my exam oriented batch and regular batch, 1 month subscription model batch. You can now avail this particular subscription model for exam oriented batch and regular batch for 1 month. The price will be very nominal. For exam oriented batch, it is 999, and for regular batch it is 1499, and both batches are available in Hindi and English language. Got this point? About mentorship program, I have already informed you that we have free mentorship WhatsApp group. You can join that. In that group, if you are joining, all the FR subject related doubt will be solved. Means whatever doubt you are getting in FR subject will be solved in that group. But if you want to avail our paid mentorship group benefit, you can join that. The link for the registration is given in the description of this video. Correct? In that, of course, one-to-one guidance will be given to all the students who are joining paid mentorship group. The fees is very nominal. For 1 month, it is ₹599. Now, coming to the test series. Test series, already I have informed you that there are 5 parts in which entire syllabus are divided. It means I will conduct 5 chapter-wise tests and 1 mock test. 1 mock test. Correct? Already I informed you that this test need to be written when you are doing first revision, not second revision. Sir, how we will get the test series? Believe me, this test series will be available to all the students, whether they are joining my paid mentorship group or what, free mentorship group. All the students can avail this test series. But if you want test series with assessment, then you can join our paid mentorship group with the assessment of test. For that, the price will be 1599. Got this point? In that case, we'll evaluate where you are going wrong, and of course that will help you. Got this point? The test series will be available to everyone without any charges. For that, you can join our Telegram channel. The link of the test series will be given. That you can download it and write on test. Suggestion solution will be given. You can do self-assessment. But if you want us to evaluate your paper, correct, you need to join our paid mentorship group for 1 month. For that, the price will be 1499. Already I have informed you that the last revision is not included in the 2 revision whatever we discussed. Now, what about the last revision? This is very, very important. Last 5 days revision for FR. For that, no need to worry. I'll make a separate video for that. Means I'll make a separate video for the last 5 days revision. So right now, don't think about last 5 days revision. Now, coming to the expected question, of course, I'm getting a lot of message for expected question, my 250 question and top 90 question that is going to be released soon. I'm updating it. Give me some time, it will be released. Once again, expected question need to be done in the second revision, not in the first revision. First revision, I will say do all the question, whether it is in my expected list, whether it is not in my expected list. Just try to understand expected question need to be revised in the second revision, not in first revision. Therefore, I am taking my time to update the expected question. This was all for this FR revision plan. I hope that this will help you. Correct? Do share this video, do like this video, and all the best for your FR preparation. Love you all. Bye bye.